to each and every one of you this afternoon. Today is Monday, September 22nd. We are here for our second budget hearing for this fiscal year. We are live here on live stream with the City of Camilla website, and we are here in the Honorable Mary Jo Hayward Chamber, Council Chamber here at City Hall. At this time, I would like to call to order this meeting, and we have Madam Secretary Madam Clerk to do a roll call.
Councilmember Moraine, here. Mayor Pro Tem Burley,
Here.
Councilman Morgan,
Here.
Councilman Collins,
Here.
Councilman Maple,
Here.
Councilman Thomas.
Here.
All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, we're going to have Reverend Tori Jackson to come before us and open with the word of prayer. And following that, we will stand for our pledge of allegiance.
Amen. Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Heavenly Father, we come before you now. We thank you for your grace. Father, we thank you for your mercy. Father, we thank you for the gift of this day. Father, right now, we thank you for the opportunity to come and serve this great city, this great community. Father, we come now, Lord God, asking that every decision be guided in integrity and wisdom on today. Father, we pray that your continual blessing will be upon every council member, every citizen of this great city. Father, we thank you right now for causing us to work together in a spirit of love, unity, and power. In Jesus' name we ask. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Jackson, and also thank each one of you all for the pledge. Now, this time, we're going to go ahead with our agenda for tonight. We'd like to get the approval of our agenda. All those in favor? All those opposed? All right. Motion has been carried. Agenda has been approved for tonight. Now, at this time, we have our speaker appearance. If anyone would like to come and speak before the council at this time, you are able to do it. Just state your name and your address and know that you have 3 minutes.
My name is Emily Donnelly. I live at 6135 Pebble City Road on South City, Georgia.
Is that mic on? Green light on?
Push that button that way.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to thank each of you for your service to our city, to thank you for working in spirit of unity to administrate well so that the citizens of Camilla can live in a life of peace, security, and prosperity. Thank you for all that you do to lead our young people by your own example, for showing them that when we live in harmony with one another, that everyone wins, that we're stronger together. I come this afternoon on behalf of our library. There are 2 institutions in our town that impress me the most with a spirit of community. One is our senior center and the other is the library. Now, you can't be part of the senior center if you're not a senior, but that's your only requirement. Your race, your gender, your political affiliation, your income, nor your faith imposes any restriction on your involvement. As a frequent guest of the Senior Center, I can personally testify to the loving, encouraging, and total inclusivity of the center. There is such a sense of unity and fellowship there. It's one of Camilla's most valuable assets in promoting a sense of community. The second is our library. Except with the library, your age doesn't matter. From 2 to 92, any citizen, whether of the city or the county, is able to access all that the library has to offer. One of my greatest memories growing up in the country was to see the bookmobile come. And my parents raised a family of readers, and I am delighted that my children and grandchildren are all readers. A long time ago, when my children were growing up, a game came out called Sim City, and it was about simulating a city. And the context was that the player had to efficiently operate the city in such a way that all the services were provided for. You couldn't give too much money to fund the police and not fund your fire department. Or you couldn't give too much to the fire department and leave your police without any funds. And I know that that was just a game. And I will honestly tell you, I was terrible at it. I did not do a good job building a city. And I realized that you have the great responsibility of doing this for real, not as a game. There are so many needs in our city, and I don't underestimate the seriousness of the task before you to do what you have to do with the funds that you have. I just implore you to not forget our library and how beneficial it is to all of its citizens. Every citizen of our city and our county benefits from our library. And people much more eloquent than I have given you great examples of all that our library does. And I just ask you tonight to please remember that in your deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. All right. Any other speaker appearance at this time?
Early, Charles Strickland, 340 Fuller Street, Corolla, Georgia. I talked to Mr. Burley about coming to the meeting. I said, I can't outdress you. You always are the sharpest looking fellow around. But I will dress appropriately, and I have dressed appropriately tonight to show why I'm here with our new t-shirts. We're very proud to have. I'm representing friends. I'm representing myself. I love the library. I've donated hundreds of books to the library, and I'm very proud of what we have. But I don't, I know the situation you're in. I've been through a lot of budgets when I was in the school system, and it's not easy. It's a hard task. You got people wanting this, people wanting that. You have the things that you think are most important. Other people have the things they think are most important. It's downright scary at times. So I've been in your shoes. But what I'm asking you tonight is, as you look at the library, I know you have some ideas of where you stand right now. This budget is a year-long process. You may be at a certain point right now, but in the course of the year, there will be some things that change. There will be money that doesn't get spent here or there, or somebody resigns or something like that, and you have some extra money. I'm asking you simply to, wherever you are right now, to look toward that 40,000 in the future. Start looking for ways to bring it up slowly. It doesn't have to be an all-in-one thing. And maybe this time next year, we're looking at the 40,000. Okay. And final thing, you get there and you think Camilla is paying too much. Why don't we all get together with the county and all the mayors, Board of Education people, get together and do something that's not happening very much in this country. Sit together, sit down and talk about it and work out the problem and maybe solve some other problems along the way. But I just urge you to, whatever your plan is right now, to keep the library up front, add to it when you can, and maybe this time next year we'll all be smiling about it. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Strickland. We appreciate those words there. Thank you. All right, any other speaker appearance at this time?
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Kevin Owens, citizen of District 2. And Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I just want to clarify, the speaker appearance is happening now. Will there be another opportunity for citizens at the public hearing also?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the 3-minute and then the 5-minute later on.
Absolutely.
All right, so for the 3-minute, let me just point out, I want to, before we get into the rest of it, and I can appreciate the spirit of unity and camaraderie and these types of things, but as one citizen pointed out, and especially when we're talking about SMC, is that this is a tough job. And unfortunately, when you want to have nice and great conversations, unfortunately, that's not the nature of a democracy. Sometimes it gets a little messy. And budget time is typically one of those times. So let me just say, from the start, the rules here, as it relates to the conduct of these meetings, and specifically the speaker appearances, no one is supposed to be interacting with a council member, having a one-on-one conversation and that type of thing. Everything else, especially when you talk about dissent and criticism of our elected officials, is one of many fundamental rights in this community and this country. So with my last minute or so, let me just say, as it relates to the library, and I agree everything with Dr. Strickland and the other citizen came up to say, the library is extremely important. But I want to remind everybody that when we had this discussion last year, members of District 2 voted against the budget because of the $10,000 deficit or $15,000 deficit, or $25,000 deficit that we reduced for the library. We moved it down to 15,000 and later added 10,000 because we had to pass the budget. District 2 council members voted against it, and during that time, our firefighters, our police officers, our regular employees or standard employees did not receive their pay raises, their COLA raises for that year. That shouldn't happen this year. And lastly, let me just point out that part of the funding from the library is dependent largely on the maintenance of effort that's dictated by the state. So if you pay $40,000 this year, you have to pay $40,000 next year, or the library risks losing funding that they received the year prior. I think the $25,000 that the library is at right now, given by this city, is a good amount, and I would recommend that the council keep it that way so that future councils are not restrained from or having to meet an additional fund. So that's my part one. I'll be back for the public hearing for a little bit more. Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Any other speaker appearance at this time?
Good evening, Julie Tucker, and I'm from District 2. At a previous city council meeting, Mayor Kevin Owens stated that it was time for not to be silent. And so at the last election cycle, Mayor Kevin Owens told WAMP TV that Ventura Pollock was his candidate, and his vote would be counted. And now Mayor Kevin Owens lives in District 2. I'll come back to that. It was proven that 2 city council members
Ms.
that
Tucker.
served on this council did not live in their district, and that's dishonest.
Ms. Tucker,
That's dishonest.
Ms. Tucker, at this time, we're not going to be discussing election and things.
That's not election, that's fact.
Politics.
And when you know that it's dishonest and you go along with it for political gain, then that cuts into your integrity.
Ms. Tucker, we understand, but we're not going to share politics at this time, okay?
Well, if he's gonna school us in how to represent a district, then lead with honesty and integrity.
Thank you.
And I'll be back with that too.
Previous speaker was talking about politics.
All right, at this time, from this point on, there will be no political aspect or ambitions in our speaker appearance. It doesn't have anything to deal with what we're discussing as a council or as this budget hearing is about to protect. We don't want to get into politics at this time, okay? Thank you. Is there any more speaker appearance at this time?
I just add a simple note to that point, just to frame it as trying to keep comments towards items on the agenda. I do recognize that it may be hard to not talk about politics in this room because every decision we make up here on this council is indeed politics. So I think what is trying to be relayed is keeping comments towards the items that are on the agenda.
Okay. All right. Any other speaker appearance? Ms. Bailey.
I wasn't going to speak, but since you said what you did, I have a couple of items I've been looking at that have really bothered me, so I hope I remember them all. But I'm looking right now at,
Does it have
I'm Martha Bateman.
Ms. Bailey, does it have anything to do with the budget?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you want to wait until we get to the budget hearing to discuss those items?
Oh,
Because we're gonna
okay.
have another speaker appearance during our public hearing during our budget.
As long as it gets done before y'all vote on it.
Okay,
Okay, I'll sit down and
all right,
come back later.
okay, all right, thank you. Okay. All right, hearing no more speaker appearance, council, we're gonna move further on our agenda for tonight. I'd like to get a motion to open our public hearing for the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. Motion to approve. All those in favor, show of hands. All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion has been carried, and now at this time, I do open this budget hearing.
I'd like to start with the document we all have received in relation to public safety and vehicle fleet. And I specifically, my question.
First of all, before we go into all of that, I'm going to open it up to the public. And then after the public voice their opinion, give their ideas of certain things that they want to see on the budget, then we as a council will go back and we'll deliberate on it, okay? All right, so now is the opportunity now for the public to come forth, and during this moment, you will have 5 minutes to discuss whatever the budget line items or anything that feels like a detail to you. Ms. Bateman, you can come on back.
All right, I'm not prepared because I was not going to speak here. So I made it off course here. I've got 5 minutes, huh? Okay, I'm gonna start with the one I was looking at that I'm concerned about. And that's, under the governing body, the program services for youth employment for $100,000. I don't know how many people y'all employ, or for how long you do, but I was playing around with this and I'm like, how in the world do you employ somebody part-time, youth, and spend $100,000? I think y'all need to look at that, see how many people you're gonna employ. You don't have 5, are you paying them minimum wage? What are you paying them? How many hours are you going to use them? That just seemed to be a lot to me. Another place in here, if I can find it, and this is under the URA revenues and URA Development Authority. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about that or not, but it's here in this budget. Infrastructure gateway signs, $120,000. People, we have 2 beautiful gateway signs. What in the world do we need with another gateway sign? I mean, anybody coming into Camilla, they can see them and it looks good. I'm sure that $120,000 could go somewhere else. Maybe to buy some police vehicles or something of that nature. And I don't know where it is in here with this, en blanc money, because like I said, I'm not prepared. But somewhere in here, you have $15,000, I think it is, for the en blanc dinner. And all of you know, most of you will know, I'm a retired teacher. You were out there, when I was out there, I worked my butt off getting scholarships for our students. And I believe in scholarships. I do not believe that the city should be in the scholarship business. I don't. I did see where there was a class that was working, maybe they were selling, I don't know if it was chicken or what, lately, to earn money for scholarships, and I think that's admirable. But I think that you need to think hard about supplementing, a class event. You are opening the gate for a lot more. I mean, I applaud that class, I don't even remember what the class is, for their efforts at trying to get scholarships. But $15,000, that's $1,000 scholarships, if you want to give a scholarship. That's 3 $5,000 scholarships. You know? Just please think about those things. I would like to see y'all zero in on roads, repair the roads that are around here, all the infrastructure things that are necessary, and really pay attention to what you're doing. And look at it from everybody's standpoint, work for everybody. And I don't know what else to say. I probably had some more here, but like I said, it wasn't prepared. Having a school teacher, that's pretty bad, isn't it? So I didn't intend to speak. But those are my thoughts that, you know, maybe you could take some of this extra money here that I'm talking about, put it over there with the library, put it over there with those vehicles that you need for the police department, because that is important, you know? And the safety of everybody and that sort of thing. I guess that's all I have to say right now. Maybe somebody else come up some more. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bateman, and I just wanted to address the $15,000 you stated about the dinner and blot. Those $15,000 do not go to scholarship whatsoever. The class itself produces the funds to go for scholarship. We, as the city of Camilla, we just partnered with them, and we just take care of all of the other different little fees that help them to be able to promote this event.
I realize.
Scholarship doesn't go, City of Camilla don't pay scholarships, we don't promote that.
I realize that, but you are putting out $15,000 to
That just-
enable them.
That's just an estimate budget, it may not even reach $15,000.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that, my point is, you aren't giving the scholarships per
No.
se, I know that, but you are giving them $15,000 for all this other stuff in order to enable them to earn, I don't know how much money that they earn, I don't know how many scholarships they gave out, or what those scholarships were.
They gave a large amount of scholarships on last year, and it's just getting bigger and bigger every year.
Perhaps we need to have a report as to how much and where they went. That would be nice.
I want to also respond to the comments about the youth employment program, just for educational pieces. Some folks in the audience may have heard what Ms. Bateman just stated, but also just want to remind folks that when we initiated this program almost 3 years ago or so, we have been screaming for more partners for these kids in our community to get jobs. So if that $100,000 amount seems so much, there are several nonprofits and other LLCs out in this community that can host these children. So if there are any remaining funds in this account year after year, it's because we have not seen the full partnership of everybody in this community that says they care about this community and will give our children places to be employed. I would love to see this budget actually increase higher than $100,000. That means that we're able to continue to employ children and keep them off of the streets and into other things that may impact them as well. And I did have comment too on the Derek and Blanc, but Mayor Pro Tem Burley definitely handled that. But narrative is so important. When we get up on these mics, we have to tell the truth. I think someone just mentioned integrity on the mic. We can't just come up here and jumble words and say that these organizations are doing certain things. These funds are public funds. They're being used to increase economic development in this community and to really help boost awareness of these programs. now you report there on those comments.
May I make a comment, or do I have to come to the mic? Or-
Yes,
Okay.
if you'd like to come to the mic, anyone else?
I would just like to say that you didn't address Ms. Bateman's question of how many students and how they're being paid. What is great to employ our students and you give them a future in Camilla instead of having to go somewhere else for jobs. But how exactly do you spend that $100,000? Where specifically does it go?
The majority of it, all of it goes to the Boys and Girls Club in Mitchell County at this point, because
So
they've been
the
the only
$100,000
ones.
goes to the Boys and Girls Club.
The 100,000 goes to disperse and pay the children that are employed. So the full detail of that report can be shared and given. We do
Yeah.
track that. But again, yeah, more hands-on, more partnerships. I'm sure the friends of the library and the status now could use assistance too. These are all the pieces of where those funds could go in support.
Okay, but a report of how many students receive the money and what they do to get the money would be great. Thank you.
All right, any other speakers here? Public hearing.
Good afternoon again, Council. So, yeah, I got my stopwatch here. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would like to maybe get some clarification on political speech. And this may be a good point, as a recommendation, as a citizen here, maybe check in with the city attorney. Because I would assume that any speech, especially speech that's in dissent, the rules of this council and this body are very clear. You can't say anything derogatory. You can't say, you can't engage directly with a council member. But dissent, criticism of your elected officials, I believe is protected speech. And before someone gets shut down in this forum, under the flag of this city, that may, would require a little bit more input. But, I'll leave that, to the council and to you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, as it relates to that. What I'll say, and then if you see something or hear something that I'm saying that is, close to or what you believe to be political speech, then I would highly recommend, before I'm shut down, to check in with your city attorney, to make sure that we're all on the same sheet of music here. Last year, budget, as I mentioned earlier, well, let me clarify something real quick, since we're on that subject that's been discussed. The youth employment program, I think one of the elements that was missed during that exchange is that the youth employment program, as Councilmember Morgan pointed out, started about 3 years ago. The reason why those 3 years are so important is that's when we've seen ARPA funds. The youth employment program is funded exclusively by ARPA funds, not by taxpayer dollars or any of that. The Treasury has identified what you want to use that money for. That was approved and set aside for that particular deal. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that youth employment funds are funded by ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act, as it relates to COVID. So I just wanted to make sure that was important to point out. Last year, as I mentioned, the council did not approve, specifically the council members from District 2, did not approve. This is a matter of public record now, so this ain't politics, this ain't campaigning, this is a matter of public record. Did not vote for the budget because of the additional $10,000 or $25,000 for the library. Earlier this year, the council approved an additional $1 million for operational expenses here in the city of Camilla. And what I would ask this council to do, it's a thin line, in my opinion, between compromise and appeasement. Number one. That prior to any discussions of compromise as it relates to this year's budget, please understand that the problem that we had last year when we had to pass the budget with that additional 10,000, because it was at 15, now it's at 25, to make sure our employees got the additional COLA increase that they deserve. You won't have that problem this year because you already have $1 million set aside for additional operational expenses. So if you find yourself, council, the majority of it, where folks are leveraging that aspect, and we're not gonna pass the budget if you don't do this. Just understand, the council has already approved an additional $1 million. And per our charter, if the budget doesn't pass next week, you just use the one we had this previous year, month to month. So nothing changes. And I believe, and it's something that maybe you can check with the city attorney, but I'm fairly confident that if you don't pass the budget, because of those types of small nuances, if you will, you can still have the money available to pay our awesome employees the raise that they deserve. So I don't want anybody holding for lack of better words, holding our employees hostage because of 10 or 15,000 against a $50 million budget. I believe that to be incredibly irresponsible fiscally last year. So just know you don't have that problem this year because of the additional $1 million you have for operational funds. Lastly, and I think this is important, but I think this is the time of when you, as someone mentioned earlier, where you speak. The public documents that I've observed, if you will, that I've had an opportunity to do an open records request, a lot of what we do is based off of the electric fund. And Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would respectfully request an additional 30 seconds because I wanted to clear up some of this stuff at the beginning as it relates to get some clarification on the political speech deal, if you will, if allowed. All right. One of the biggest components of our budget is the electric fund. The majority of the bills that we pay is paid out of the electric fund in terms of backing up what's not coming in with regular revenue. I think it's important that from the records that I've looked at, and I mean this with all due respect, and I'm not talking to this council member directly, I'm just stating the fact. The address that Councilmember Vereen put on her qualification form from the documents that I've observed, the city of Monroe does not serve electricity to that address. I think that even though your name doesn't have to be on the bill, I think it's important, council, that if you're going to input, if you're going to complain or raise rates, if you will, you at least have to be subject to that. And I'll ask the council member, my council member in District 2, to recuse herself of any conversations related to, if not this budget, definitely anything related to electric rates in the city. So she doesn't pay. All right, thank you.
I would like to respond.
Okay.
It is not my fault that I don't pay electric rates, but I do pay water, I do pay sewer, I do pay garbage, and I receive a bill from the city of Camilla every month. And it is paid. It is not my fault that the city's electric lines don't run down my street. Thank you.
One other comment. There's no requirement that I recall that you have to have city facilities to be a member of this council. You have to live in your district.
I do have city facilities.
Well, I know that, that's what I'm saying. It does not
And I'm in the
say
city limits.
that you have to have all of the city facilities. If it does, I would like that to be pointed out.
All right, thank you. Is there any other speaker for the budget hearing?
I'd like to make a point of clarification if I can regarding the public speech.
Okay, Mr. Attorney, you go ahead.
Yes, this is a hearing, a public hearing to discuss the budget items. Therefore, the council can restrict comments to or related to budget questions. So if political statements are made regarding the budgetary process, that's fine. But if it's a political statement that does not address the budget concerns, then it can be restricted.
Okay, thank you, Madam, Mr. Attorney. So we heard the guidelines there, and we just want to kind of stick to what the budget question is for the budget.
They said we can.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it, so I asked them.
Is that, Mr. Attorney? Or could you repeat that again?
It's not required, the council can restrict, you can allow anything you like, you might speak on it, something they like, but if you choose to restrict it to just budgetary comments, you can.
Okay. So what we're going to do is, we're going to just move forward with that, and we'll just restrict the political aspirations when it comes down to this budget.
That's what I'm saying. My thing is on the dinner en blanc, and, that initially, the dinner en blanc was paid out of opera funds, and it's been moved from opera funds to the general budget. It's not, it's still part of the opera.
Still part of the opera.
Okay, well, dinner en blanc is a class reunion, and it's labeled as economic development. So all class reunions, do you need me to move over so you can see the mayor?
Oh, no, I'm watching.
All class reunions are,
You can
and
move
if
back.
that's the case, then all class reunions are the economic development. And so all class reunions should be able to come up here and receive money from this council to fund their class reunion. It's great that they're sponsoring scholarship, that's great. But the actual dinner and block, the $15,000 for the food and the entertainment and the dressing up and the white tablecloths and all of that other stuff, that's a class reunion.
Okay, well,
Okay, that's my opinion, so I'm
okay, you're
asking you
okay. Okay.
to take that out of the budget, and there's money to go for the library.
And the city, I'm just saying this right here, the city does not provide food. They don't provide all that.
They provide the budget for them to get.
Yes, but it's for the other things.
They provide the budget to get the food and the music and the decorations and everything else that's done for that class reunion.
All right, thank you very much, okay?
Okay?
All right. Okay, is there any more comments for this public hearing? Hearing none, council, I'd like to get a motion to go ahead and close the public hearing, and can I get a motion to do that?
Motion to close.
All right, all those in favor? All right, the public hearing is closed at this time. Thank you, council. All right, just to give us a budget summary of the overall budget has increased by $4,882,000. The retirement was reduced from 10% to 6%, and healthcare increase was reduced from 10% to 3%. And this resulted in a savings to the city, which is $130,308. The police lease program was updated to $59,722 per year for leasing 6 new cars. And this number was previously $54,000. Also, in our planning and zoning department, regular employee salary were reduced to $97,775 from $171,426 to one less employee. The youth council travel was increased to $15,000 from $10,000. And the fuel purchase was increased from $192,515 to $244,048. And the well pump upgrade was reduced from $2,182,635 to $1,566,511. The debt service was added in this project as well. Now, the URA budget was adjusted to actual numbers for the bond issue and payment. And it also added a transfer from the SPLOST and opera for the gym equipment and furniture. And the updated number for the city transportation, gym equipment and furniture projects are within this particular budget here. So now at this time, council, I would just like to go around the table or anything that stood out to the council. You can go ahead and we can talk about it, have a discussion on that.
And that total increase you mentioned, was that from the draft one?
Yes, that was from the first budget.
At a certain point, maybe not now, but I would like a copy of this document, just this.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, this is,
Summary that you're reading.
yeah, it would be, it can be provided to you.
And then could you repeat the police leasing program?
Okay,
Got it.
yeah, you have
So
it.
did y'all decide to go with 6 vehicles?
Yes, I talked with the CFO and it was almost where we could actually do this. She put it into the budget. And what, I also had a conversation with the chief and he agreed that, we could get, 4 vehicles, the Durangos, right off. And, he was interested in getting 2, Chargers, and the Chargers won't come off until next year around, March. So,
So those 6 vehicles will be.
They are
over the
included.
course of next year.
yes,
4 right off the bat.
and there are 2 in March.
So where exactly are these funds added to this budget? I see in public safety 3,200 under machinery and cameras, where that went up about 64,000, was that equates to about this amount?
I think,
Where exactly is that, this new amount placed in this budget? Because I'm not seeing that.
It's under
We're-
vehicles, under police.
police,
Under public, 3,200?
Yes,
3,200.
and at the very bottom where vehicles.
Page 10, Corey.
Gotcha. So it essentially went up $9,000 instead of a full 60?
Right.
Okay. Can we get justification for the machinery cameras increase? Is that for flop?
That's the flop.
Thought we already paid for that. So the machinery and cameras went from 32 to 95, and it's my understanding, we paid the flop in this fiscal year's budget.
They pay, a fee, I think, every year for those.
for the usage of it.
Okay. That was just a big jump. It was 64,000, and I didn't know what exactly that was. I probably still want some clarity on that too.
Okay.
I did notice, when the ladies were mentioning the youth employment, it is in 2 places. We have page 1 of the governing body, $100,000, and page 18 of ARPA, another $100,000.
There's 2 programs, there's 2, we have interns that work in the city,
So is the governing body the ones that are here at City Hall?
governing, yes, I think so. But
Okay.
there's 2 programs.
And, Lisa, do we use most of that?
We do.
Okay, all right. So what's gonna happen with the ARPA funds, that's the other employees that, I believe we said those are at the Boys and Girls Club. Is that correct? All right, so we may have to look down the road on what to do there. Okay, but I just, like I said, I just wanted to be sure that, if you picked up both of those. I had, just a question in general, and I went through general fund, water, sewer, and electric, interest income. General fund, page 2, other revenues. You're on general fund, page 2, other revenues. That is $70,000, and at 3%, that means that we are counting on interest of $2.3 million that's somewhere. 2018 SPOS funds, if it's 10.5, and I'm just going on 3%, just a ballpark figure. That means there's $350,000 somewhere. Line 3, that $35,000 means there's $1.2 million in T-SPOS money somewhere. And with the 15,000, that's about $500,000 in ARPA money, which we do have the ARPA money that's listed there, but if we're spending it, are we gonna be able to collect that interest on it? So my questions go from line 1, that $2.3 million, where is it? And is that what we're going off of to get that income? 2018 T-SPOS, if we have $350,000 that we're collecting interest on since 2018, why haven't we spent it? And can we not spend that? I know that it's specific, that's SPOS money, line 2. T-SPOS, is there $1.2 million somewhere that we have guaranteed that we're getting this $35,000 income? So and when I went through the general fund and then water and sewer, there's another interest income, which would be roughly $116,000 somewhere. Electric, it'd be $4.5 million, and gas $26,000. So if you add up all of the interest income from our budget, that means we have got $8,992,000 of money somewhere that we're collecting interest off of. My question is, where is that money, and are these numbers accurate? And through the general fund, the water, sewer, electric, and gas. Interest income that we have listed in this budget. We have to have about $9 million in the bank somewhere, and I just want to know what bank and if that number is accurate.
We have it all invested and it's earning interest. It's in various banks.
Okay, would it be possible at least to get a list of things?
Sure.
Okay, but is that number, that is correct? Okay, all right, awesome. Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Now, do I need to open records or just email or?
No.
Okay.
I need to ask a question on these vehicles. So what proposal is 6 vehicles to be purchased. I mean, 4 will be delivered fairly quickly, and 2 in March or later next year. And the annual debt service on the lease on that is $59,722. Now, question, assuming with our other obligations, we can service that debt without a problem.
Yes.
The other question is, would it not be a good idea, because if we do the 6 vehicles at one time, then in 6 years, we're gonna be back in the same place. So I think it'd be a good idea to look at splitting those up, maybe do 4 and 2. And that way you're gonna not, the whole idea when we started all this rotation years ago was to buy 2 new vehicles for the police department every year. And that way we kept them rotated out. And then there's another item over here on maintenance that the public safety policeman department, it says repair and maintenance of vehicles. It goes
What
to
page?
35,000, that's page 10 on fund expenditures by department, which is the public safety. It goes from 35,000 to 75,000. So if we're getting 6 new vehicles and they're gonna be leased, which I'm gonna ask a question about what the lease says they're gonna do or not do. Why do we need $75,000 to fix new vehicles?
Well, I think, they had that in there pretty much, Lisa, not knowing whether we were gonna get,
We also have all the current vehicles that.
Yeah, the current vehicles that we have.
Not the outfit.
So they replace engines,
Engines,
quite a few engines and.
So it could be the outfit. I talked to the chief today. You know, initially he wanted to get 4 Pursuit Durangos
Yes,
and 2 Dodge Chargers.
Chargers.
He's since changed his mind because of the maintenance associated with Chargers. So now he's comfortable getting 6 Durangos.
Okay.
And it's gonna cost $12,000 per Durango to outfit. We don't have any equipment that will swap over. So probably it was 10,000, but he told me today 12,000 was. So that may be where that additional, he said his repairs and maintenance will go down considerably.
Well, that's what I'm saying, it's,
Yeah. But you got, I mean, you still need $12,000 per vehicle. to
Still got
outfit.
$60,000 to put all the stuff on.
well, I know, but that's where you saying the difference is.
It should be,
Okay.
Sitting to 12.
yeah.
How many cars do we have? I mean,
Police Corey's got there.
how many police cars do we keep? I know it's way more than 6.
But they're not all in really good shape.
Right. And I know some of them pretty old.
Yeah, so we might. Sure,
Hopefully-
we should
hopefully raise-
say.
18 tons,
And the oldest ones are what, a
2014 Durango.
What
The
is
newest one
it,
should be a 20.
Jared, what is this lease, what is it going to cover? What are they supposed to do?
It's basically like us financing a car, I mean, it is,
I mean, but.
we call it lease or we're really purchasing.
So are we responsible for
Are
the
we
oil
gonna
changes
keep
and
them up
everything?
or repairs? Yeah, who's gonna keep them up, repairs and maintenance?
I manage the shop, just like we do our.
So they're not doing any of that, we still got to do.
Yes, all they're doing is financing for us.
We've had some warranty, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it'd just be like, yeah, it'd be like a straight purchase. It's just we're spreading out the cost of it over 5 years so we can build the fleet back up.
But on a lease typically, what is the number now that they lease expires at what, 35,000 miles?
I'm gonna have to check on this Pursuit model. I'm not sure what it's gonna be. But this is really like a lease purchase, we're not actually leasing them, we're really purchasing them, it's more like a financing, a 5-year finance.
I still think we ought to split it up though, and, that way we've got some, in 3 years, we're gonna have that paid for.
Well, and, you know, in 5 years, which is, if that's the term y'all go with, it's about 60,000 a year, which is about what we collect in SPOS in a month. In 6 years, you gotta replace all of them, in 5 years, they're probably gonna be ready to be replaced.
Replaced anyway.
Before,
So,
more before.
I mean, I would rely heavily on the chief's recommendation as to what he thinks is gonna work on there, based on his current fleet and what he predicts his new fleet needs to look like in 2 or 3 years.
See what he says about 4 and 2.
Yeah, he has moved away from the Chargers because he says he always has problems with them, so the expectation is already built in. He said he would settle for the Durango. So, between now and the next budget hearing, I want to make sure that it is clearly communicated exactly what he's looking for in his fleet. If he wants to do 4 now, maybe in the next budget year, y'all can do 2.
Well, not, part of what I was saying, maybe we need to do, 4 now for 3 years. And then next year, put 2 more in for 3 years.
I mean, we replaced 3 vehicles in this budget year, so he's had a lot of complications with his vehicles this year.
I just think short term would be, better beneficial, I think, financially for the city to do it that way, to keep new vehicles with less maintenance.
Yes, I'm thinking that's probably what Lisa's guys, y'all are seeing where it's gonna cost us to outfit those vehicles.
Yeah.
$12,000 per unit.
So none of that equipment that's in these old ones is used.
Well, if we were using the Chargers, they would,
Absolutely.
but not with the Durangos. And I don't think, what's the oldest Durango got?
2014.
And that was probably not on the road, that's probably an investigative driving.
Yeah, that's old, but.
Let's see, or 2015.
And I don't think any of those are on smart loan, because this is, I think a bigger model is Pursuit package. So it's probably a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. So it's,
So you gonna get back to us?
yeah, I'll have another talk with the chief and just, see what's gonna work best for him. I mean,
So that plus 10,000 upfit's gonna be 12.
and that was just a ballpark figure. I think he actually talked to the man today and he said it's 12,000 for the drawing.
You know what that is? I know it's light, I guess it's a cage.
There's a cage and the camera, I mean, well, I don't think it's.
The communication system inside as well.
Plus.
I think so.
You
Laptop, computers, all the electronics.
Floodlights.
But that,
And they put a brush on it. Full package, and all the different-
We have cameras inside.
Sure.
They do on TV.
well, I don't know what you all think, but I would certainly like to do as much as be able to accommodate Chief Hendricks as much as possible. But I'm not a big fan of let's get 6 vehicles right now. So it's just a thought. I would support the 4 vehicles over 3 years and then work towards getting back on this rotation of was it 2 a year?
2 years.
And maybe address that fleet and perhaps the ones that we don't need, we can sell as salvage.
Well, I think the problem with that, Mr. Green, is that it's been 3 years or longer since we have, been on that rotation. So they
But will 4 cars not get us back into that, or does it gonna take 6 to get into that?
It's gonna take 6 to get us back up to speed.
And right now, he's in dire need.
Yeah,
He is in dire
So
need, so.
6 will get us, and then we gotta buy 2 more next year?
No, we'll do that.
The following year, okay, gotcha, okay.
Well, we get 4 this year and 2 coming on next, right?
But that's, I mean,
Well,
we're without the chargers now.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want the chargers now, so.
It's gonna be December, let's say 10 to 12 on these triangles, 10 to 12 weeks.
Well, maybe talk to Casper today and they got either 2 or 4 over there that he can get.
We can get
Like
rid
that.
If he's doing 6, they'd have to order more.
Right now, he expressed that he's in dire need.
Of 6 cars.
Yeah, and like I said, he just replaced engines, AC, front ends are no good. So we're gonna continue to keep spending money on the older vehicles.
All right, so is everybody in agreement then, 6 vehicles, what's in the budget? Okay, all right.
A lot of times they'll keep these cars
Now,
idle.
1206, it's gonna be another $72,000 to outfit them.
We already have that in the repair.
It's already in
Okay.
there,
All
but
right, awesome, okay.
And so a lot of times they'll keep these cars idling because of the computer system that's in them.
Right, and he explained that.
And so I got Robert supposed to be looking for, you can buy a battery pack of some kind that will actually transition over where you don't have to keep the car running, it will go to the battery and keep all its components, electronics and stuff, logged in. So hopefully that'll save somewhere there on the engine. Maybe.
Good shit.
Yeah. That was the latest I got from him this morning when I had a conversation with him, but
Okay.
he's shied away from the chargers, and it's gonna be, they went to a conference last week, and it's gonna be 2027 before we can get one anyway, so.
Which are the best, which one does he prefer?
He said the Durango,
Durango.
they're gonna hold it up.
Okay.
all right. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you.
I have 2 additional additions. I'll start with the public safety one since we're still here in this. I think we'd be remiss if we did not consider opportunities to reduce the need to use 6 additional vehicles in our community. So I would like to propose us add to our public safety budget under 3,200, potentially making a new line item for violence prevention. And I suggest we start that with $10,000 in this new fiscal year. There's one thing to continue to outfit our public safety department. I see we have an opportunity to also help them out by reducing violence in this community. That seems to be on the rise as well. There is a program that is happening in our county that has expressed interest of coming to Camilla to offer some violence prevention initiatives and programming for our community. So that's one area that I propose we add to this budget. Again, that's $10,000 in public safety for violence prevention. I can pause there if there's any comment on that, but happy to close out with the second.
What do they do?
So it's after-school programming, programming to see community.
Is it focused on youth?
Yes.
What age?
It's what we define it to be, beginning at age. Absolutely.
So like that needs to come out of the ARPA money or one of those areas.
Have we got somewhere we can move some around there? ARPA is on page 18 of general funds.
What age have they done in the past?
Middle school, middle school, high school.
And who does that? So
This program is the change initiative that's currently happening in Pelican.
the change, and they work closely,
We're working directly with the city of Pelican right now, if I'm not mistaken.
they go into the school system.
They're using the city facility, they're using the Donnie Cochran building. It's a host.
Maybe we get some more information on how that works, and, you know, we can consider that, and kind of go from there.
And then my second proposal is for clerk administration 1330. This is for the election expense line item. We're currently,
What page are we on?
the clerk admin, I want to say it's
Pretty close up.
3. Yeah, at the top.
All right.
So this is the election expense line item, which is currently at 35,000. I'm proposing a $5,000 increase. This is to accommodate any relevant inflation and costs associated with ensuring comprehensive voter access and information dissemination to residents for the upcoming general election here in Camilla. This estimate baseline is just gathered from the roughly 1,500 ratepayers who received the recent utility credit. And this is a $5,000 increase to election expenses.
Cheryl, do you know how much we spent on election expenses last year?
Without seeing it.
Okay. Lisa didn't ring a bell. We'd have to look it up.
I like to see those in this graph period.
All right, so what would we do with the 5,000?
This is to, again, ensure comprehensive voter access and information.
Ensure voter access, meaning.
It's a combination.
Bond
This could be having more poll workers. This could be
Oh, gotcha.
extending early voting hours. This is just having the resources to do it.
I got you. Okay, see, that's the one. I like that. Awesome. I like that. I can understand that. All right, so that would be extended hours, more poll workers. Okay, got it. And maybe we could get the numbers of what it cost last year and see, because if it cost 30,000 last year, it's already budgeted in there. So,
And those close my amendments to the draft.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I'd like to see us bump the library back up to 40,000. We talk about economic development all the time, and we have picnic in front of the bank. We're building a gym, talking about that's going to be economic development. But the bedrock of economic development is having a literate and educated populace. And what better to do that than have a good library?
One thing I'd like to comment about, I've never heard any bad ideas, they're all good, it's just got to pay for them. Is to stay within the numbers that we have here. If you got a good idea, or you, then it's got to come from somewhere else. We got the total number, let's work with that number.
Anybody else?
I think that I agree with what Mr. Palmer said, if we could just keep the number we've got and move a few things around. I wanted to address something that one of the citizens said, and what we have today is different than the thing that was printed out last time. If you look on the last page of the, where it says, what's got the URA budget, that wording was changed, and it's not the gateway sign. I think that if you look on the very last page of what you have, it's just infrastructure for signs in general. And so we had talked about the, I think that Ms. Bateman said we don't need a gateway sign, and we don't, we have beautiful ones, but if you'll notice that just says signs, not gateway sign. The prior budget was the gateway sign, okay, but this was corrected to read signs. So signage in general, is what that number, I believe, is representing, there. If you want to check that. And that doesn't have a page number, it's just the very last page that we got. I just wanted to kind of, so Ms. Cheryl, you're gonna get back to us after you talk to the chief. Okay, and then, we'll look at what the last election costs were. And we have a couple of very good suggestions from Councilman Morgan on violence prevention and, the election. It was a really nice word that you used that I didn't.
Voter access.
Thank you. Voter access there. Okay, great. And I didn't know, did I miss anything? I was just in my notes.
So I've got some, comment on the, URA, budget on the back page. It says, city transportation / general equipment, furniture, other projects, $689,000. In the T-Splosh proposal that's, was, basically agreed on, there was $600,000 in there for transportation. Why do we need $1.4 million for transportation?
I'm thinking that come from, whenever this T-Splosh be approved, we'll be able to kind of like manage that piece of it. As far as the gym, the furniture and all of this other stuff, it was already included within this budget coming out of, 3 different funds.
There's some ARPA money.
Yeah, opera money is in it as well.
Designated for that.
For the furniture and all that stuff. So all of it is like a line item here for the URA.
But what about the other 600 that's in the T-Splosh?
That's pretty much what I'm kind of alluding to with,
But that's over
like,
5 years.
yeah, that's over
That's
the
over 5
period.
years, so
Yeah, that's
so this
over the
would be
period of time.
Right?
So now,
The transportation on T-Splosh was
That's
$750 or $600.
no, 600, it's this.
So that's over 5 years.
Mhm.
All right, so half 6, 3, well, it's gonna be, that's not gonna be that's the total amount for the whole 6 year. And for 1 year, it wouldn't be that
That's what
much.
I'm saying, I mean, it's the, other in here on the T-Splosh money, is that Yeah.
Lisa, could you kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah, give me some feedback on that.
It should be $120,000 a year on transportation, if it's divided over 5 years.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's how she does it or not.
I may have missed that totally, so I don't know if that's even, if that was, the line item that I have for, transportation, I thought that came from MEAG. The MEAG 1 million that was moved over to the URA.
Well, that $1 million that's transferred in there is supposed to be a, itemization of what it's supposed to be spent for also.
So this transportation would be 120,000 if it's East Plus money.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
I got you.
I mean, she just said that's MEAG money, which has already been transferred into this account.
So what you're saying is that number needs to be adjusted.
Well, the other 600,000 in the T-Splash, you don't have, that's money you don't have, you got 1/6.
Right. We get
Oh, we
120
will
a year.
get 1/6. Well, see, it doesn't start till, when is it,
Next year, when it starts. But it'll be within,
So we've got some coming in this cycle like that.
So I currently don't have T-Slots money going into URA. So do I need to make that change?
Well, I just don't quite understand why we've got, you know, it was, it's $600 and some odd $1,000 in this particular, line item, and then we've got 600,000 in T-Splash.
let us work that out and kind of go from there. And we'll get that situated and put it in the proper accounts that it needs to be in.
And make a note, Dwayne, that T-Splosh should be for 1 year, not the whole thing. So I think that it would be 120,000 in revenue if it's for 1 year. But I don't know, because I'm not sure how much comes in.
So 800,000 a year is what will be coming in with the new increase.
In 1 year.
That doesn't start till next year.
But I included.
Right, I understand, we're working on next year.
Mhm.
So that, then if what she says is correct, then that number is fine. If we've got that coming in, then for it to be going out. If there's 800,000 coming in and then you're looking at spending basically 7.
Well, I understand this is for 1 year.
Right, that's what she said.
That's what she's saying.
But not all of it is gonna go to that one line.
No, we don't know how much is and how much is.
That's too much.
But this is the year that there has to be an accounting done, so
Yeah.
we'll get to see that.
Okay, we'll get that corrected and make the adjustments there.
Mayor President, I got to attend the last budget hearing with things that he wants to share with the council, some capital improvement, future capital improvement needs that he's gonna be having, if y'all mind.
Okay, all right, Chief, you can come on up.
And then need 5 trucks a year.
Well, good afternoon. I'm James Sullivan. I'm the fire chief of the city of Camilla. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, council, city manager Ford, city manager White. I'm here today at the request of city manager Ford to talk about proposed budgets going forward. I am pleased with my budget this year and I have no further requests, and thank y'all very much for funding it this year. But going forward, it's time to discuss a ladder truck. And that is where, as we grow towards tomorrow, we have so much growth. Our southeast district is growing, and I'll talk about a second fire station after I talk about the fire truck, but the ladder truck itself. So right now, our fleet, we have 3 fire apparatus. One is reserve, and it is a 1997 model. Our ladder truck is a 2008 model.
and our newest fire engine is a 2015. So with the growth and the age of the ladder truck, not only does growth is a great thing for community, but it requires greater size apparatus, and that's where we're to stand for now. It's the ladder truck we currently have is a 75-foot reach. This building is 4 stories. I can barely, not safely, ladder the back of City Hall with our current ladder truck. It's 75-foot reach. With the advances of more apartments coming in, multi-story, with Cagle's expansion and with growth in the southeast quadrant, it's time to start really looking at getting a ladder truck. So this is where, unlike the police car fleet, this is where a ladder truck purchase today is the fastest we could get in one is from 24 to 28 months. Most of them are running 36 to 48 months, the delivery time, the lead time on a ladder truck. And it's gonna break $2 million. It's gonna be about $2.3 million to put in a ladder truck. And that's just something that City Manager Ford wanted to get on the radar for us in discussing and knowing what the future brings. Because the current ladder truck is aged and it is starting to show its age. I've had multiple repairs. Well, it's been at the hydraulic repair shop been twice in the last couple of months. The hydraulic cylinders are aging on it. The components, electronic components are aging on it. It's not, with the ladder truck, all these fire apparatus, now the modern technology, all the electronics are the bugs we have on them. And that's where they have so many components throughout the truck. And in 2000, circuit boards, can you imagine what that is today? Circuit board, they don't even make replacement components for those circuit boards throughout that truck facility. We're having to make things happen with it, and manufacturers that come in, the repair shops come in and make it work. So just getting that out there is the ladder truck. And with that growth, I was talking about that southeast growth, everything, I mean, that's great on the 4-lane going south, the new housing development we're talking about. This may take a second fire station for ISO coverage. We're really getting to the boundaries of our current traditional small downtown, fire station in the middle of downtown. Now the reaches of that fire station is getting limited by the ISO perimeter. They use an engine company. We divide the fire department up in ladder trucks and engine or pumper trucks is engine companies and ladder companies, and that's a requirement. It gets, I'm in the weeds with that, and I don't need to be, but the ladder companies ventilate buildings, make forcible entry, put the ladders up, things like that. So having a ladder company and an engine company, ISO requires that an engine company be within a mile of the built upon areas of the city. So we're really stretching the engine company boundaries now with our growth. And the ladder company's a little bit farther, get 2 miles of ladder company, but we're still gonna start with the growth and dividing on where that would be. And that's where it will take some development in deciding where we put a second fire station, when it's time to actually put one in. I like the industrial area down that side is where I was just guessing at it without really measuring it out. I've done some preliminary, some sample measurements from Google
We
Maps.
just annexed that in. That's what, if you're talking about 19 near the county offices, we just annexed.
But that's some more of that growth I was talking about. Now, I was actually talking from, actually in city, the J. Powell connector, the industrial track, yeah, that's in the city, yeah. That would be a quick response, or somewhere over, where MacArthur and 19 is going, where we have property and things like that. We make a whole, look at a whole different thing, a lot of things when we talk planning a fire station. And that is, first of all, where do we own property is the easiest way, if it's in the right direction, the right way. Yeah, but you're right, the new courthouse annex going out this way, everything east. So when I keep saying east and southeast, the biggest thing that the fire chief thinks about every time the train comes through town, it splits us in half. Yeah, so the fire truck's on this side every time a train comes through. So that's when we do that growth, that second fire station, it needs to be considered on that side of the railroad track. And I'm liking looking south from the distance we can run. So like, I don't know, if we move South Fork Apartments, that's on that South MacArthur, right before it gets back to US 19. That's my longest response time for my current station. And it is borderline, it's actually beyond the recommended response time that we have for my current station. And we looked at a couple of studies. We looked at crossing over 19 and going down MacArthur. We've also looked at going down 19 and turning back up. And it's still the longest time run we got. So that's where we go in consideration when you start putting in, planning this fire stations on maps.
It's where they can get to the built upon areas of the community.
Ms. Sheriff Ford, are there grants available for fire trucks? Is that something we can look, do you know right off the top of your head? Is that something we can apply for grants for?
We can definitely look and see.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. That's a lot of money.
So there's several grant opportunities out there. We apply for a lot of grants throughout the year, and we're getting a lot of them, but they're small grants, $4,000 or $5,000. There is a major grant fund for the U.S. government, and they could fund the fire truck, but with y'all's wisdom and leadership, our credit score is so high that we don't get considered for those grants.
We'll work on it.
Yeah. So that's a curse. They're really taking care of small rural volunteer stations way out in the middle of rural. I'm not gonna pick on a neighboring state or anything, yeah, but that's where our DUNS number and our credit score keeps us from receiving those big grants for the big capital outlay projects like that. So.
Chief, do y'all have any, capital reserves for capital purchases?
No, sir. My budget is very, very straightforward and limited every year. I budget out almost every year. So as far as now, Miss Lisa or Miss Ford, they may have something for overall beyond my scope, but not in my 3,500 line item. I don't have any reserves.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything reserved.
No, he said.
We've been talking about this ladder truck for several years.
Yes, sir. I put it in my capital. I put it in my proposal every year just for a reminder, because I know it's going to be a big topic of conversation one day. But we're getting so close to that. Gotta have, besides just a pipe dream, we're getting near that we need it.
What's the guess the old ones work?
Nothing, very little to nothing.
Nobody.
No, because not just because of the age, and it's because it's over 10 years old, and it's a ladder truck, and there's been horror stories with agencies buying used ladder trucks. Call County, Georgia, for example, has 2 firefighters that were critically injured in career-ending injuries from a used ladder truck, a used ladder truck. They thought they had.
I was hoping you would say 500,000.
Yeah, yes.
It's
gonna be about 2.3 million. That's a rough offer today.
And we're 2 years out from it.
A minimum. That's the quickest. It's probably gonna be closer to 4. Yeah. Oh, it's a whole thing about it. After COVID, the price of the fire helmets doubled in the last 2 years. The gloves we wear, those are timeline items. We have to buy them and replace them. The gloves that firefighters wear, just going up from $40 to $120. And there's a class action lawsuit in a couple of states about the fire truck industry, about how they manipulated the market by, it's a long story. If you YouTube, why is there a shortage in fire trucks in America? There's about a 10-minute expose on YouTube explaining why there's a shortage of fire trucks and what's happening with the hedge funders who bought all the fire truck companies and combined them and made the market go up.
So what you saying, we're out about 48 months maybe, so we could start budgeting and we may get close to it.
Yes, sir. If we ordered one tonight, it would be 2 to 3 years at the earliest before we receive the truck delivered. So we're in here we're doing 25, 26 budget, so we're talking about almost year 30 budget. 2030.
And I know this is an on-the-spot question. Do you remember how we purchased the last?
I imagine it was splash money, I imagine, my guess.
800,000.
Well, you said 75 feet is kind of a minimum now. What do you want?
I'm looking at 100 feet, and it's going to be, and this is getting real in the weeds again, but right now we currently have a single screw or single rear axle truck. The 100-foot truck will require a double axle, which is going to be a larger truck. Our fire station, downtown station, will fit that. It will fit in there, but it's going to be just a larger truck, but it's going to be to get that reach. And it's not only, they make a truck with a 100-foot ladder, but I lose half my water capacity that I can flow today. The ladder truck we have at 75 feet can flow 1,500 gallons a minute the way it's constructed. The manufacturer makes a single axle 100-foot ladder can only flow 750 gallons. It's a weight per gallon per foot of range on that in that that's where they calculate that. So I don't need to lose the gallons per minute with industries like Tyson's. I can't afford to lose gallons per minute for flow.
It's better to have 75 feet to get to water.
Yeah, absolutely. But then it's worried about reach. If we do continue to grow with multi-story apartments, and we have a 3-story apartment now, and I don't know what the future brings with Campbell Place is 3 stories. Yes.
Well, these peanut warehouses we got.
Yes, sir.
Long years ago, we got a big fire right over here and it took days.
Yes, sir.
And the pecan house.
I was at both of those fires, Mr. Danny, I sure was. Even the one that I was a kid over there, I went
I was
to
saying you were
Chief,
Yes, sir, I was very young.
Chief, do you have to pay for it when you order?
No, there's multiple ways to purchase fire trucks, and I think they know this well, there's bonds, you can pay for it day one, you can finance it through the manufacturers, you can finance it through GMA and things like that. There's several different opportunities. Yeah, that's a pretty good, safe investment for whoever loans some money on these fire trucks, so. So the rule of thumb is 20 years, and we're really approaching that fast with this truck, and it's really getting now where, and I think Albany.
So we could get a 10-year bond.
Yeah, that's way above my think process, but I understand that's a possibility, yes.
Sounds like maybe we might need to put that in this budget.
I wouldn't recommend it right now, but let us have a little more conversation about it and see how we're gonna move, because we know that we're gonna probably need one in the future. And we're gonna have to have one, so, I wouldn't wanna put this in this budget for this year, but we can have conversations and we can kind of strategize how we're going to do this in the upcoming years to come, okay?
York said that gym was a 1-year thing. They would be done by September 30 next year, is what their contract says. So that means in 1 year, you've got that SPOS money. That, and is that, or does it have to be T-SPOS?
Well, that's the conversation
I got
we'll
you.
have as a
I
council,
understand.
and we kind of figure out what avenue we wanna go with that. I don't think we should be, having it, we appreciate you, Chief, I don't think we should be,
Freaking out right now.
yeah. So we're gonna try to do what we got right now. But I thank the chief for that.
Yeah, thank God, that's why I just wanted to put it out there on that big radar screen, because it's gonna be a big purchase when
Yeah, it is.
sooner than later. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
and
Chief.
excused.
All right, yes, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Okay.
And he's had a really good idea, but he said we'll talk about that. It was really good though, it is, that was awesome.
Yes, we'll get back on that. Okay. All right. Any other comments pertaining to the budget there? Okay, we do have our suggestions and things that we want to kind of update and probably see on our next budget. We can kind of look forward to that. Also, with the cars for the police department, there were some more things that was brought out. We'll kind of touch bases again before our next budget hearing.
Which is Monday.
Yeah, which is next Monday, the 29th, at 5 o'clock here at City Hall.
Before we go, we really need to give some kudos to Lisa.
Yes.
She has been working very hard for the last month, getting her audit done, and she's been really working hard on the budget. And I know that Ms. Cheryl Ford has got her as well, but can we give Ms. Lisa? I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, I want to thank all of the ones that have been participating in this budget. I want to thank the council as well. We just got to learn to strategize and make sure that we are doing what is right for the city. And that's our goal. And we don't want to hold up anything. We want to get it so we can come together and go ahead and pass this budget so that our employees will be taken care of and the city itself will be taken care of as well. Okay?
So is it my understanding that after, excuse me, we can hopefully finish hashing this out at the next,
Yeah, we wanna go
at the next
ahead.
budget hearing, and then we have a, work session or a regular meeting at which either one of those we would look to pass
No, we'll pass the budget, on
next
next,
month.
no, next week. Next week, we gotta pass the budget, because, the new budget go in effect October the 1st.
All right, so we can hopefully maybe get these midweek,
Yeah, we need to go ahead and,
okay, and then when we meet next Monday night,
we should
make
be
minor
able-
adjustments and.
Yeah, we make the adjustment, Lisa will, I mean, she took notes and everything, so we can get together and make the adjustment as needed, and we can go from there.
And then hopefully 1 week from tonight, we're done some.
We'll, hopefully Monday will be thumbs up.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay. All right, I want to thank all of you all for your input. Public, I want to thank you as well for your input. And I know tonight, there was a lot of, discussion tonight. And I just want to let everybody know that if I offended anyone in any way, form, or fashion, just want to let you know that I do apologize, Ms. Tucker. We apologize if I offended you in any type of way, and anybody else in the audience with our
Not
deliverance.
offended,
Okay.
but I want to tell you this publicly, I appreciate you bringing your pastor to say prayers. You've done that several meetings now. I think that's an excellent idea.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Do any other council member have anything around this? All right, do we get a motion to adjourn our public hearing number 2?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, all those in favor? Motion, meeting is adjourned at this time. Thank you.